All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday, May 8th. So Kevin and I are going to go through the hives today. I'm really kind of excited today to see how they're doing. We did last time. I did record last week, but I didn't publish it. A couple of reasons why. I got a new video camera, but my wireless mic isn't working with it. So it had a microphone with it, but the sound didn't really come out too well. So the video, number one, wasn't that good. And then number two, as far as what was going on in the hives, honestly, there really wasn't much update. It was pretty much about where they were, just a little bit further along. So we're going to take a look today. I'm really excited today because we've had some capped brood for a little while. So I'm hoping or curious to see if any of that has emerged yet, and then get into both hives. So again, we're going to start with hive Stephanie here, this one here, which so far has been doing better than hive Emily, but hive Emily's doing okay. It's just a little further behind. So we'll get into this today and see what we got. Kevin's going to do some filming. Hopefully we can get some better close-in shots. So instead of just the camera on the tripod, today Kevin's going to have the camera, and maybe we can get into a little bit more detail. So not real used to this whole filming thing or YouTube thing. So we'll get into it. Maybe it'll be a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Anyway, but we'll see. Okay. All right. So let's give them a little bit of smoke. Help keep them calm, even though these bees so far have mostly been calm all along. We'll give them a little smoke. It'll calm them down, and also interrupts the any alarm pheromone that they might send out. So little empty entrance, and then we'll put some when we open it up. Nice cool smoke. So we'll see how much they've eaten since last time. I did bring more sugar syrup in case we need to put that on there. But this past week has really been nasty week. It's been rainy a lot. It's been cooler. When I say cooler, I'm talking 50s. In the evenings, it's getting down into the 40s, stuff like that. So it's been off and on this past week as to whether they've been able to get out of the hive. So let's see what we got. Okay, so there's still a little bit in here. You can see a lot of them have been at the top, but they have used quite a bit. So I'd say there's probably about a quarter of a bucket, maybe less, in there. So we'll fill that up today before we leave. Again, you can see they're here on top, building their bar comb like they typically do, but that's a good sign. Okay, no queen up top. All right, let's get a good look in here, Kevin. So these bees, I'm gonna say before I even open it up that it looks like maybe bees have emerged from the capped cells. It does look like more bees to me. So I would say, just looking in from the top down, and I don't know if Kevin, if you can get a shot from the top down, I'm going to say I see bees from about this point over to somewhere around in here, definitely fully here. So again, before we start adding top box to this, we want to get about a good coverage of 8 frames. So we've got 10 frames in here. So right now between here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're about at 6 frames. So that to me is good progress. Not to the point yet of adding another box on here, but good progress. So that's all that I'm really concerned with. Not much pollen patty, but again, we're supposed to get more rain and everything. So I did bring some more pollen patty to put back on here. Again, pollen patty will help stimulate brood production. So if they can't get out, we'll have sugar syrup, we'll have some pollen patty, and give them what they need if they can't get out. So let's see if I'll get this burr comb off of here and we'll start opening it up. Before we start, let's see if there's any beetles in our beetle traps. So I don't see any in there. So that's good. This hive had a couple beetles last time, which we kind of flushed out, but I don't see any in the traps yet. I don't see any in that one. Okay. So maybe we'll see if we see any on the frames. Kind of blowing on that. If you blow on the bees, sometimes they'll move. That helps. So let's see if we can't get this burr comb off. So see, they left there by blowing on it. It's probably just my breath too. All right. That little guy wants to stay on there. They have some sugar syrup in that. So we're making our little collection of burr comb to keep for later. All right, so let's put our frame holder on here and start opening these up. I still shouldn't see any out here on these outer frames. And again, no, they haven't even started, so, but that's not surprising. Squished dead bee there, get him off of there. Okay, this frame, got some bees on there, kind of hanging out, but they're not really doing anything. All right, so this frame on the outside, nothing, but on the inside, which is good, look at all that sugar syrup. You can see it in there. Hopefully it's nice and shiny, and that is all sugar syrup and drawn out the comb very nicely. So you can see a drone bee, which is a male bee right here. You can see how much bigger he is than the female bees. But again, the majority of bees are all female, 99% of them. No queen on here, which we wouldn't expect her to be out here. This frame is probably just going to be used for resources for them, such as nectar and sugar syrup. This frame is a nice heavy frame. So here you can see we have a combination of sugar syrup / nectar, and then we also have capped cells. Now those capped cells to me look like they might be brood cells. So she may be over here. We got a couple drone bees in there. I don't see any queen here. All right. Let's flip over to this side. Oh, look at this. So we got the good corners are capped. We've got sugar syrup in the corners, and we've got brood in kind of the yellowish capped cells. So the white around the corners would be capped sugar syrup or nectar, which would be typically be honey. I'm not seeing a queen here, but that is looking good. And then if you look right in here, you can see the larva, the white larva in there. Let me get it out of the sun. Okay. So this is coming along. So we still have larvae. I'm still looking for eggs per se. I see lots of larvae, but again, I want to see some like newly laid eggs, just for my own experience of seeing that, because I really haven't seen it until these get to the larva stage, which I can see then. Okay, so look at this one. I want to show you this bee here. You can see its butt just sticking out, so it's working in that cell. So this is what the bees do. They'll put things in here, so it's either putting sugar syrup or nectar in there, or perhaps it's providing some food to a brood or a larva that might be down in that cell. So that's kind of how they work. All right, next cell. Okay, so if you look at these cells here, I'm going to say a lot of brood has emerged. So what I mean by that is, and in my thought, is you can see that these right in through here have been used before. We got our nectar, sugar syrup stored up in the corners. We've got there's a drone cell. See how the yellow cap cells here? These would end up being females. But see how this cell right here is like a bubble? That is a drone or a male cell. Because the drones that we just saw a little bit ago are bigger, they have to create that bubble on top of there for the male bee to develop. So that's neat. And then if we look down in the bottom of these cells here, it looks like they've been used, meaning they're a little bit darker deep down in there. So I'm going to say those did have larvae and were capped, and those bees have emerged as new bees. So what the queen should do then is start to reuse those cells and create more. So here's right here is kind of a cluster of some drone cells. So that's pretty good. That's what I really was hoping for to see today. I don't see the queen on this side. Let's take a look over here what's going on. So again, same thing. Here we can see all these cells that are open. These were not open last time. And so these bees would have emerged. There are still some, looks like some larvae down in there that they'll probably be capping soon. So again, it looks like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And no queen here. So like I said, when I thought that it looked like there were more bees in here, that would be why. Okay. All right, more of the same. We can see corners are capped with sugar syrup, nectar. Some brood is still capped. Some larvae are still in there, and some have emerged. So to me, it looks like it is a good colony, thriving colony, doing what they're supposed to do. No queen on that side. How about this side? Oh, no, it didn't get stung, but tried to avoid squishing a bee there. Okay, there on the left, we got a lot of larvae down in the cells. We've still got a lot of capped brood here, so these brood have not emerged. So there's still a lot to come out. Now, other videos that I watch, I see people kind of talk that when they're looking at these capped cells or capped brood, that they say, sometimes I'll hear that, oh, they look like they're a few days from emerging. So again, I'm not that experienced yet to know what that looks like. So over time, as I go through this experience, that's one thing that I hope to learn and get more used to, more familiar with, things like that. So Uh, what I will say, looking at this, is some of the capped cells seem thicker, or I'll call it maybe less transparent. So if they're about to emerge, does it get a little bit more transparent as they're trying to work their way out? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but if anybody knows, leave a comment down below and let me know. But this is looking good. Don't see the queen yet. Okay. So these are kind of the inner middle frames. All right. Lots of capped brood, some drone cells, larvae, sugar syrup, some waggle dances going on. No queen here, but a good side. This side, look at all that capped brood, all that yellow. So all of this capped brood. So those will be bees that will emerge. So probably next week when we come back, those may be emerging. Don't see the queen. Again, I've said this before, but it's not completely necessary that we find her. But because we can obviously we have evidence she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. And this side is more brood and larvae. So that's good. That's working our way towards coverage of the number of bees that we want to see. This frame is getting a little farther from the middle, so this is mostly sugar syrup. So storing sugar syrup, I see pollen in there. So resource frame. So I wouldn't think the queen's going to be out here. So, but you never know. I don't see her here. This outside frame, they're starting to draw. This frame, they're just starting to draw out. Looking good. It's resources. And haven't started to draw anything on that. So that's about as far as we'll go. But I think this frame is, or a hive is looking really good. All right. So I'm going to close this one back up, and then we'll take a look at Hive Emily, and then we'll get into that. Hopefully it's doing just as well. It tends to run further behind this hive, but as long as it's progressing in a similar fashion, then we'll be good. Okay, so let's get into Hive Emily here and see how they're doing. All right, question of truth on this. Remember, in the past, that hive has always used more resources than this. So, all right, I'd say it's about the same. So I'd say there's about a quarter left in this bucket. So that's good. Maybe this hive is getting to the point of the other hive. So I think they're still going to be a little behind, but that's okay. We got our bird comb up here, expecting what I would expect to see. Let's check our beetle traps on this one. You probably noticed on the other one I forgot to put the beetle traps back in. So this week I'm going to leave them out. There's nothing in there. We're not getting anything in them, so. And there's not very many hive beetles, so at this point I'm not too worried about it. Nothing in that one. So neither one of these have anything either. All right, so let's take a look down in here in this hive compared to the other one as far as the bees, number of bees on the number of frames. So let's bring that in here and get a kind of a top-down view. So obviously not nearly as many bees. So I'm going to say we've got full bees right in here. So 2 definitely, a partial of these, so maybe 3 total versus the other one was at almost 6. So again, this hive is much further behind than the other hive, but as long as they're doing what they're supposed to do, that's all I'm really worried about. So let's give them a little smoke here, get this bird comb off. All right, so let's get in here. I was hoping to see more bees, but that's okay. Okay, nothing at all on this one. So we're 3 frames in from the end. The next frame. Nothing on the outside, but the inside is looking pretty good. You can see this is a resource frame, almost all sugar syrup. Okay, they've got some of it capped at the top, which is good. So that's okay. They're storing resources for what they need. I do see a hive beetle. Well, a hive beetle's on the underneath side of the screen down there, so he's not in the hive. All right, so here we've got a frame of stored sugar syrup and lots of capped brood. I see eggs, and that's good. So not much has emerged, but again, we think that they're further behind, so that's not really surprising. Don't see a queen. I see a few drone cells, which is good. I see some waggle dances going on, so they're communicating well. I don't see a queen here. We did end up finding the queen on the other hive, so that was good. She was a little on some of the other further out frames. So, so looky here. So we do have some emerged brood. So this right in here, you can see where the brood have emerged. So that's good. Doing what they need to do. We got some nectar, sugar syrup up here. We got still a lot more brood to go. Some drone cells, some waggle dances. That's good. So I'm happy with this. I do still see some larvae in there that is not capped yet, so that's good. Oh, this is interesting. So you can see here at the bottom, these are little queen cups. So I'm not going to do anything with those yet until I can find the queen. But those would be cups. And actually, the one, I definitely see larva. It has a larva in it. So I don't know if, Kevin, if you can get up close enough into that one to see the larva in this one here. Maybe, maybe not. So what does that mean? So I don't want to destroy that yet. Last time I thought I had queen cells. It turned out to just be some burr comb. We took it off. But those are definitely cups. You can see where they have the hole in the bottom of it. It's not capped yet. So if we find the queen, we'll end up destroying those. But if we don't find the queen, maybe they need to make a queen. And maybe that's what they're doing, and because there is definitely a larva in there. So the queen put one in there. And maybe that's what they're saying, because maybe this hive is weaker, farther behind. Does it mean that they think she's not a good queen and they think that she needs to go, so they're going to make a new one? I don't know. If you have thoughts on that, leave it down below. I don't see the queen on this frame. So let's keep going. We'll come back to that. Okay, this frame, a good number of bees, but and lots of brood comb, sugar syrup stored, nectar. Some larvae. Question is, do we see the queen? There's a hive beetle. Squish him. I missed him. All right. This side we got more brood. We still got more larvae. Sugar syrup. I don't see her. Okay. Looks okay. And further out here, not going to be much. This frame, you can see it's all sugar syrup. It's capped up at the top. We got some pollen or pollen patty down in there. So again, I'm not expecting to see her out here. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go back and look for her again, because those queen cells there, I need to know if she's still here or not. Maybe something happened to her. But I think she's going to be any further out. I don't see any activity on any of these outside cells. So let's pause the video right here and we'll come back. Okay, so we got this hive Emily closed back up. Here's what we got. Here's the situation. So I went back through the hive 3 more times looking for the queen. I don't see the queen. Can't find her anywhere. It's not to say that she's not in there, but we don't see her. We both looked, and we don't see her. So I'm going to let the bees do their thing. I kept the queen cups there since we did see a larva in there. It's not quite capped yet, closed up, but let it keep going. We're gonna need a queen. So if she's gone, who knows what would have happened? She died. I don't know. We do know that for a while now, weeks, this hive has been much further behind. However, there are things in there that we should see, which are good things. There has been brood that has emerged. There is still larvae in there. Again, it's really hard for me to be able to see if there's new eggs, right? So even if there were, I have a really hard time seeing those. So I just don't know. So I'm going to leave these queen cups because I've gone back through it 3 times. Don't see her anywhere. Let's see if they raise a new queen. And then she'll have to obviously do a mating flight. Hopefully nothing happens to her and she makes it back. And then she comes back to this hive and can start laying eggs. So I'm not sure really how far along we're at. Thanks to Kevin for his videoing today and really getting some good shots. And he got some good close-ups of those queen cells. So if you kind of have an idea, somebody out there looking at these, if you have an idea of how far along those are, let me know, because I don't know what to expect. I know queens don't take too long to rear, 15, 20 days, something like that. So it obviously hasn't been that long. Well, I would say probably since last week, if I think about it, right? So I got in here last week, even though I didn't post that video. I didn't see those queen cups there then, so it's been at least this week, so 5 days, 7 days, 6 days. So we'll see. So it could be another week or 2 before anything happens there. But what do I do in the meantime? In the meantime, I put more pollen patty on. I put more sugar syrup there for resources for them. There is more larvae in there. There is a lot of capped brood, which is still yet to emerge, but I guess I just wait. So I'm going to give the beekeeper at work a call, ask him his thoughts on this, and then we'll go from there. But that's the update for today. Hive Stephanie seems to be coming along very well. Hive Emily seems to be, they're doing okay, but we don't see the queen, no queen. But they're making a new queen. So that's what we would want them to do. So anyway, we'll keep at it. We'll keep everybody up to date for when we check them next weekend. So thanks for watching. Take care. If you have any comments, put them down below. Like and subscribe. Thank you.